It's a cowl. It's a hood. It's a balaclava. Hello magical makers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm giving you 20 balaclava patterns that I think are just gorgeous. They are crochet boosting, creative. They are things that can be a statement piece, things that you can actually add to your wardrobe and wear on a regular basis. So if this sounds like something that you could get into, please join me in welcoming these 20 patterns into our dream library. As always in roundups, you know, we have some criteria that we want to follow. For me, when I was choosing and selecting the patterns for this roundup today, I wanted to make sure that they had some things that would make you know that this is the best project for you. So I have included patterns that are paid, and then I have patterns that are free as well. Not everybody is on the same budget, so I have broken the paid patterns into 3 different tiers. We have the $1 to $5 category, we have the $6 to $10 category, and then we have the $11 to $15 category. All of the patterns either fall under the lightweight category, and that means that they were made with yarn that is a category 3 weight or finer. Then we have the patterns that are organized into the medium weight category. So this includes worsted and aran weight yarn that is used for the pattern. And then we have the last category for yarn weight, which is the chunky weight category. So this means if you are using yarns that are in the chunky category 5 weight and then bulkier. This is a transitional type of piece. This is meant to be worn underneath your winter outerwear. A lot of people wear balaclavas if they're doing some type of winter sport like snowboarding and skiing, or if they're just simply going out for a sledding time on the big snowy hill. A lot of people also use these when they ride motorcycles or just bikes in the cooler weather. When searching for these patterns, I did come across, you know, quite a wide variety, which was really cool that there was a lot to choose from. But I had some criteria for me, especially as a maker, someone who actually designs patterns. I really needed to see some key things with the balaclava look. For one thing, I wanted to make sure that this had, like I said earlier, that tightness to the skin, had a bit of a zero ease so that you're not getting any winter air blasting in your face and blowing your hood off. That was super important. So you're gonna see some of these have a drawstring feature, which is another way to make a big open hood a little more condensed and snug on your face. Another thing that I also had in my search was I wanted to make sure that I found patterns that displayed what this looked like on a head. So that doesn't mean necessarily that it's actually someone, a model wearing it. Sometimes these are pictures of a mannequin. That's quite fine. But if there were any pictures that I saw of patterns that were really beautiful, but they were all just flat lay photos, I kind of just left those out because most of the time, everybody has a different head shape, maybe a different chin length, maybe a different neck thickness. So you're not really gonna see how it's going to hit you proportionately if you are only seeing it lying flat on a table. To be able to reference all of these patterns at the end of the day, I have listed them in the description below. You're going to see I have an Etsy's favorite list. So if you click on the link for the Etsy favorites, that's all the patterns I found via Etsy. Those are all in one specific favorite list. It's a public list, so you'll be able to see every single one and go directly to that listing for that designer. And then for Ravelry, I made a bundle. So that's pretty much the same thing. It's a very specific favorites list. If the pattern was listed as free and it was available on that designer's website, I did actually go ahead and just give that designer's direct link to their website in the description below, along with those other 2 links for Etsy and Ravelry. So let's get into the 20 patterns that I think beautifully represent the balaclava look. Okay, we're going to start off in the lightweight category. So I have 4 patterns for you in this category. The very first one that we have, and that we're starting with, is the Friday Balaclava. This is by Lilla Bjorn Crochet. Beautiful, simple start to the balaclava look. You see we have a really subtle and natural looking ribbing. We have a lot of room in that hood in the back. We even have a separate section that frames the face, and it really does look like it gives you a nice comfortable hug on the face. I love the length that they have of the cowl part. It looks like it extends a little bit longer in the front than it would in the back, which is great because that is where we need the most warmth to keep our chest warm. I don't normally wear gray, but something about the gray and black and just the various shades of gray I think actually is really elegant and classic. This is is a wonderful pattern. This is available in English and Dutch, and this is in our $1 to $5 category for our pricing tier. So very affordable. This could be a really great pattern for those of us that want a chic and classic look that can match kind of anything that we have in our wardrobe, but also is something that we can be proud of. So this is the first pattern in our lineup, the Friday Balaclava by Lillebjorn Crochet. The second pattern in our lightweight category, this is the Perfect Hood by Miss Kochkina. This is available in English and Russian, and this is also available in the $1 to $5 range. This is such a lovely look. This is going to be the first pattern we're going to see in our lineup that has that drawstring so that you can totally cinch it up if it gets a little windy and gusty and super cold, or you can just let it loose and let a little bit of air and a little bit of ventilation happen, because I know once we put all of our layers on, then we start to sweat a little bit. So this has an option for a little bit more air in there or to tighten it up. I love that. This is another ribbed look, but I actually really like the ribbing that they do here. I'm not really sure. I actually cannot pinpoint what kind of ribbing method is used in here. It could be just a back loop only single crochet, but it's actually, I can't tell. I actually love when I cannot tell how they made the pattern. This is such a beautiful styling as well, just like the first one. The first one was a little more of the grays and the black. Now in this pattern, we're getting into more of like the warm oatmeals. She's got a little bit of a tartan print on her jacket. I think it's just really lovely. A lot of these pictures are great because it's kind of telling me how I can wear my own winter accessories, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I just run out the door and I just throw things on. So I'm really grateful for these designers that they take the time to really think about how they're showing off this beautiful crocheted garment. So this is the Perfect Hood, the second pattern in our lineup by Miss Kochkina. Okay, I know I didn't get time to do a Valentine's Day type of roundup, but we are getting a little bit of Valentine's Day within this one, but it also can stand outside of Valentine's Day. This is the Love Balaclava by Mermaids Yarns. This is now moving up a little bit more expensive in the paid pattern category, but still pretty affordable. This is in the $6 to $10 range. This is a beautiful piece. We're definitely seeing again a repeat of the ribbing. I think the ribbing is important for the balaclavas because you want to be able to easily pull it and stretch it over your head and then have it be able to snug back close to your skin and give you that nice little hug. I love the hearts motif. I think this is so classic. It's not cartoony to me, because sometimes you think, okay, if I add a shape or like a repeating shape in a pattern, sometimes it can look a little juvenile, but this does not at all. I actually really think that this is very classic looking. This also, as I was reading online, is available in children's sizes. So you can go ahead, if you have a little one that you want to make something fun for with hearts, maybe that's their favorite shape, or maybe you just think it's cute on them. This is such a great little look for kids as well. This is our third pattern in our lineup, the Love Balaclava by Mermaids Yarns. Okay, the pattern that we have closing out the lightweight category is the Balaclava pattern, very simple title here, by Knit Crochet Home. This is again found on Etsy. This is in the $1 to $5 range, and if there is a contest for the most texture in a balaclava pattern, I think this would be in like the top 3. This has got all the texture. You're really seeing a front post stitch type of look for that outer area, that outer layer, the hood part. And then the piece that covers the mouth, we're seeing a different type of ribbing. Actually, we're seeing, I think it's more of like a, if I can guess, this looks like a back loop double crochet. And this is another different look. Sometimes you'll see the balaclava styled where it's just a kind of like a helmet where it covers the head and a little bit of the face and maybe the chin, and then just the neck is covered. But this one actually shows you how it's able to be flipped up inside itself and really be that wonderfully insulating part over your face for those very windy and gusty days. So this is a great representation of how to style the balaclava. Very cute, very simple. The last one in our lightweight category, the Balaclava pattern by Knit Crochet Home. Okay, we are now going to dive into our medium weight yarn category. Again, I have grouped in here the Aran weight yarn patterns as well because I believe they can be quite similar. The first pattern in this medium weight category is the Balaclava Turtleneck Hoodie by Diving Ducks Crochet. This is in that $6 to $10 range for the paid patterns, and this is a very beautiful but yet it looks so approachable type of pattern. I think if I were to offer a pattern to my beginners out there that really want to take the next step into making a piece for themselves that isn't just row by row, you can practice seam work, you can practice just seeing how fabric of crochet can be manipulated and put in different ways. I think this is a great pattern for you to start with. This looks like it's got some really lovely ribbing. The ribbing looks a little bit different from the outside as it does from the piece that covers the mouth here, but I love it. So this is a great way to start off the medium weight category, the Balaclava Turtleneck Hoodie by Diving Ducks Crochet. So the very second one that we have in our medium weight category, this is the Old Memories Balaclava by Kaori Katsuraba. This is our first free pattern that we have in this lineup today. This is also the first granny square design that we're going to see today. Granny squares are so popular, and I'm so glad they are. This is a great step up for those of us that have mastered and said, okay, I've made granny squares before, and now what do I do with the knowledge that I have? This is a great way to start into that next step of leveling yourself up and adding some magic to your stitches. Look at that. You have the option to do it just a plain ribbed cowl here, or they actually added some fringe to give it just that even more of a bohemian vibe. I absolutely love it. This is actually available in English and Japanese, which I think is great. I think this design is very well thought out. The pictures I was just absolutely drooling over. I'm not one that makes granny squares all the time. I have one granny square project in my whip bag right now, but man, after seeing this, I was like, I think I definitely need to take a chance on doing maybe one more granny square project in 2025. So our second pattern ever, the first free pattern in this lineup, this is the Old Memories Balaclava by Kaori Katsuraba. Okay, the third pattern in our medium weight category, this is another free pattern. This is the Ultimate Balaclava Pattern by Hey Hey Crochet. You can find this free on their website, so I have listed the website directly in the description below for you. And then on their YouTube channel, you're actually able to see the varying types of granny squares that you can also use for this. So the way this is designed, and I'm just drooling over how smart of a design this is. They designed this so that you can take any granny square that you have ever learned to make, whether it be, you know, like in the picture, the happy face one, or maybe you have like the star or the strawberries or whatever, and you can make a balaclava with mostly granny squares. And I think that's so cool. You can take any granny square and a little bit of the direction from the designer, and you can go all out on your own custom look, never seen before. I think this is so cool. I think this is a great way to introduce people into how pattern design works too, because I know it can be a little daunting. When I started pattern designing, it took me a long time to be comfortable with my own choices. Half the time I was just questioning everything that I did, but this is a great way to dip your toe into that kind of like, oh, can I make it my own way, you know, and someone is there to guide you. You're not just by yourself being like, well, I don't know if this is going to turn out. Someone has done some math for you. They've done a little bit of stitch counting for you. They can encourage you. And from what it looks like, there's a lot of positive projects on Ravelry that I saw with this. So I really love that this is just for the maker. This is definitely a for the maker pattern. The Ultimate Balaclava by Hey Hey Crochet. The next pattern in our media weight category, this is of a designer that I have followed myself since way before I even had an Instagram, before I even knew that there was stuff on YouTube. This is Two of Wands. This is their High Peaks Balaclava. This is in the $1 to $5 range for pricing, and this is just gorgeous. We're getting another drawstring look. We're getting this really beautiful, almost like open stitch, kind of like chain one, skip one looking type of stitch pattern. I don't even know what it is, and that's how much I want to find out what it is. I want to download this. I want to buy it. This actually is probably going to end up in my cart. And at the end of the video, I'll probably give you like my top 3 that I would actually start tomorrow if I had enough time and no budget with my life. I love how they styled it. I love the color they chose. I'm a big sucker for oatmeal and kind of like those natural wool colors. This is the High Peaks Balaclava by Two of Wands. Okay, the very next pattern in our media weight category, we have the 2-in-1 Balaclava by Poppy Shop. I found this on Ravelry. This is in the $6 to $10 price range. This is such a versatile look. They're giving us this really classic eyes only out balaclava where the nose from the bridge all the way down the mouth is completely covered with this beautiful ribbing. We have the two-tone look. I love a two-toned look. If you've seen any of my designs, I'm obsessed with like a two-color representation. I just think it's really dynamic looking. But I don't even know how they did the top part where it's like the eyes up. I can't even tell. I don't even know how they did that. And I love that they give you kind of like this border around the eyes, very ski mask looking. And in fact, I think it would fit very comfortably under a ski mask if that is something that you're doing when you're wearing this balaclava. And then when you are not wanting to wear it and you walk inside and you still don't want to take it off your head because guess what? You have hat hair, flip the brim up and you got yourself a cute old beanie. And I really think this is wonderful. I think they have the person that does that beautiful winter wonderland life. They have them in mind. I think they really did their job as a designer to make sure that this is something that a lot of people could get use out of. It's not just a style piece. This is a functional piece for people that are into going outdoors and doing things out into the winter wonderland all hours of the day. I'm not one of those people, but I think this is a really smart design. This is the 2-in-1 balaclava by Poppy Shop. Okay, we have another beautiful ribbed look for the next pattern. This is the fake knit ribbed balaclava by Crochet Landa, and this is in the $6 to $10 range for the paid patterns. This is, I just love, first of all, I love the color that they chose. I got a soft spot for warm purples, warm toned purples. This is really great. We're getting a little bit of a longer width now in that kind of ribbed area. This has a drawstring as well, which is great. I love that drawstring look. I think I have a soft spot for the drawstrings. I think being able to make a cord is so fun, and then like putting that into your work, I think that's, you're working different skills. You're not just crocheting a piece flat, seaming it together. You're actually making like an actually usable functional piece in your balaclava. I think it's really beautiful. I love the simplicity of this. This looks like another very approachable pattern for those of us that are willing to take that next step and level up their crochet skills. Wonderful, great representation of what a balaclava does look like. And I still think that you could probably, it looks long enough to where you could still take that bottom part and tuck it up underneath to cover your mouth and nose if need be. And again, that was the fake knit ribbed balaclava by Crochet Landa, found on Ravelry. Okay, the 7th pattern in our lineup today, we have a little bit of a different look. So I know that crochet has many different avenues that you can go down. You can, you know, we have like tapestry crochet, we got like amigurumi crochet, and then we have a really cool part of the crochet world that not a lot of people talk about called Tunisian crochet. So this is our only Tunisian pattern in this lineup. This is the Tunisian Twist Balaclava by May Crochets, in the $6 to $10 range, and this is beautiful. Don't even know, again, another one, I have no idea how they made this. Tunisian is still such a beautiful way to make a piece. I know that Tony of TL Yarn Crafts is like the queen of Tunisian crochet. If you are interested in making something like this, but you've never done Tunisian crochet, but you've crocheted before, girl, this would be a great project to start with. I think this is just stunning. I love it. Again, the two-tone look, it got me. I love that pale sage green with the oatmeal kind of like pale off-white color. I think it's wonderful. Again, we have that classic ribbing going around the face and then around the neck. It does look to be a little bit shorter than most of the other balaclavas that we've seen, but we're still getting that helmet look. It looks nice and snug on the face. Not a lot of space in the back, but I think that's fine because I think this is more of a maybe wear under like a helmet or wear under, you know, a hood of a jacket type of deal. So beautiful design, very clean. She's smiling in the picture. How can you not love that? This is the Tunisian Twist Balaclava by May Crochets. Okay, the 8th pattern in our lineup for the medium weight category. This is in my top 3 that I will start tomorrow if I had time and no budget. This is the Chroma Hood by Cosmouty. This is a $6 to $10 range pattern, and this is just absolutely gorgeous. I don't know why I love this so much. I think it's because the color really draws me in. I love that we are only seeing a ribbing in the face, and then the cowl part here, it's a little bit shorter. I actually have a short neck, so I actually think that something like this would be better suited for me. Having a short neck, it can feel very claustrophobic in my winter layers, so I actually think I prefer this for myself. I don't think I would be covering my mouth. I think honestly when it's cold outside, I'm not spending much time outside. I'm just going in and out the door, out the door to my car, and then from my car to Target or wherever I'm going. I'm not lingering outside, but I love the moss stitch that they seem to be working with in the part of the hood. And as I was reading the description in the pattern, I was like, there's got to be a story behind this. This is so vibrant. The pictures that they had, there was just so many different looks. This is meant to be a scrappy project. So if you are someone that has 10 grams here, there, everywhere of just these ends of these skeins, and you don't want to get rid of them because you just know that, like, hey, what could you use this for? You could use this for something one day. This is one of those projects that you could start using only scrap yarn and feel so satisfied and have such a polished look at the end of the day. I also love that the drawstrings themselves are scrappy. I think that's so cool. Again, I'm just fangirling. I'm going to keep it short here, but this is a beautiful pattern, the Chroma Hood by Cosmouty. All right, the next pattern that we have, the second to last pattern in our medium weight category, this is the, wait for the butchering of pronunciation, Quatre Poils Balaclava by Kathy's Crochet Closet. And yes, I did look at the screen to read it because I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing this right. It is a French word, quatre poils. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Quatre means four. I'm not sure what foil means. I want to say it means like petal. Tell me if I'm wrong. Please tell me if I'm wrong. But this is another granny square style balaclava, and I love actually how long it is. We're not having just like the 6 and then the ribbing. We're actually doing a full body of the balaclava in the granny squares, and then you have this gorgeous kind of half double crochet in the third loop only, if I can predict what that is, in the place that frames the face. I think that's wonderful, nice and stretchy. I love the seaming that they did for this. Really, really beautiful. This is in the $1 to $5 range. Again, very, very affordable. I'm very attracted to these colors. These colors that they chose to use in this photo just give you this like warmth in the middle of the winter type of vibe, and I really go for that. I am a warm toned skin tone myself, so this is definitely something that I would actually make. These are colors I would have chosen myself if I were to make this. Very simple, a great way again to use your granny squares, scrap yarn if you have it. The Quatre Poils Balaclava by Kathy's Crochet Closet. All right, the last pattern that we have in our medium weight category is not least by any means. This is a gorgeous texture that we're seeing here. This is the Leontine Hooded Scarf by Crochet Dimensions. This was found on Etsy. This is available in the $1 to $5 price range. A beautiful look. Now, I know that some of you, in looking at this photo, you're gonna say, Nicole, this is not a continuous cowl. This is gonna be kind of like kind of in the gray area as far as, is this really a balaclava or is this a scuddy? I consider this to be a balaclava because, again, I'm looking for that closeness around the neck, and because they have the ability for this to be pinned, buttoned, and it stays in place, to me this is a balaclava. Because if this was a scuddy, this would be free open for you to wrap and do whatever you want with the scarf part of it, but this definitely looks like it is meant to be pinned to your placing of choice and leave it there, and it's not going to budge when you remove your jacket and your outer layers. It's going to stay put and stay where it needs to be. So I really love this look. Whatever that stitch texture pattern is that you see along the hood and all throughout that cowl part, if you know what that is, please let me know. That is a gorgeous texture. It's like wave of some sort. It also reminds me weirdly of like wheat in the fields. Well, I love the color they chose, kind of like a cranberry red color, really striking. This is your chance if you have a lot of neutrals in your wardrobe and you're looking to add a pop of color, but you don't want to be like too crazy about it. This is a great way to do it. It's kind of like when you add a scarf with like some fun texture colors. Like, this is the standout piece. This would give you so many people being like, oh my God, where did you get that? Honey, I made it. I didn't get it anywhere. I got it out of my own hands. That's where I got it. And I just love this so much. So saving a great pattern to kind of round out our end here, giving us texture, giving us beautiful ways to upgrade our techniques. This is the Leontine Hooded Scarf by Crochet Dimensions. Okay. Okay, we're now moving into the chunky weight category, our last category for this roundup. If you've been with me this far, thank you so much. Keep watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like content like this. I do like window shopping and curating patterns for things that I think my friends would like to make, or I myself would love to make as well. So if this is something that you enjoy, please leave me a comment down below. Which of these patterns so far have you been obsessed with? We'll want to start tomorrow. The first pattern in our chunky weight category today, we have the balaclava with ears. You're getting so many different patterns within the base pattern. They have the head form that is all the same. It does seem to be covering the bridge of the nose and then leaving space for the face, but you are going to get options for bunny ears. You're going to get options for Yoda ears, frog eyes, there are bear ear. I mean, there's so many cool looks to this, and I love it because you're also using a chenille yarn. And this, I'm sorry, this is by Vetka Knit. I found it on Ravelry. It is in the $6 to $10 range for pricing, but rightfully so. You get so many options on a project that you can make with this. I mean, you could technically make, like, if you have 3 friends, you could technically make 4 of them for you and your 3 friends, and each of you had a different look according to their personality. Like, how cool could that be? I love that it's still giving you a long length in the cowl part. So again, great to snuggle under your jacket and your outerwear. I do also love that they have a lot of pictures for this. So it's not just saying that it has these attachments and then we're getting one picture on a head and then the rest is flat lay. You're going to see these on multiple different people. There's tons of projects on Ravelry as well. So I really love that. A great way to start a chunky weight design, especially because chenille yarn is mostly these days associated with amigurumi patterns, if I can be so bold as to say. I think that chenille yarn is just getting its start in our crochet world. So it's really lovely to see another designer use this with something besides a stuffed animal. So this is the balaclava with ears by Vetka Knit from Ravelry. Okay, for this next pattern, guys, I'm gonna put the picture up. Let's just take a moment of silence and everybody at the same time, everybody say, "Oh God, this is so cute. This is so cute." This is the Unicorn Balaclava by Crafts Everywhere. This is a cute and lovely themed, unicorn themed balaclava. I adore this. The absolute joy that I think I could give my nieces for making them a unicorn balaclava. I mean, I think I would get like Auntie of the Year. It's in the $6 to $10 range. I did find it on Ravelry. This, though, is available also in the adult sizes. So you're not only seeing this for child, you're seeing this for many different sizes. I think from baby all the way up until like child, then youth, then adult. So there's a great range here. This is so cute. The possibilities are endless. I mean, totally, like if we're talking right now about like yarn bounding, where you make something match like something that you're like a fan of, like for example, if you're a My Little Pony person, could you not see yourself making like a series of these for like the different My Little Pony characters with the different like mane colors and the different horn colors? You could even add like little flowers if you want to. Just a great place. The creativity and crojo boost that you would receive from doing something fun like this would just be awesome. So I cannot recommend this enough. This one is always in the back of my mind. I love a good unicorn pattern. This is a Unicorn Balaclava by Crafts Everywhere. All right, this next pattern in our chunky weight category, this is coming from a good friend of mine. This is the Sierra Nevada Hood by Just Be Innovative. Bethany is a snowboarding queen. She is someone that has spent a lot of time on the slopes, in the snow. She knows what it takes to feel warm and cozy when you're outside and the weather is not always your friend. This is our first pattern, one out of 2 patterns in this lineup that are actually made with fur yarn. And I know, fur yarn can be daunting. It can be something that scares us because we don't see the stitches, but we can feel them. And I actually have tried this pattern before in the past. It didn't end up coming to fruition because of my fault. I was working on this when I was like very pregnant, and my my pregnancy brain did not allow me to finish this project. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I just couldn't count my stitches, and I was all over the place. So I ended up putting this project down, but I do want to pick it back up because this is so cool. I have in-laws that live out in Erie, Pennsylvania, where it gets super cold and snows like all the time. I'm telling you, from like Thanksgiving until Easter. So this is just something that I think would do really well in that climate for me. I'm not a snowboarder. I'm not going to go and pretend I know how to snowboard, but I do believe that she also sells this as a finished piece. So like, I mean, just stunning. And she's a bestseller with this pattern, which is also great to know. This does have drawstrings as well. I love how she styles it with her like parka, and she's got her rosy cheeks, and she's all tucked in cozy. I love it. So Bethany, thank you for a great pattern. This is the Sierra Nevada Hood by Just Be Innovative. So this next pattern is by another friend of mine. This is the Fluffy Hooded Bear Cowl by Sweet Softies, and this is just as adorable as it is fluffy. Another pattern using fur yarn, and I actually very much randomized this lineup, by the way. I did not actually mean for these to be side by side, but a good comparison to see. This is actually a free pattern. This is the only free pattern I believe in this category, and this is on their website directly. So I will leave a link to their website in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Jade of Sweet Softies has so many cool patterns, but this to me is one of my favorites. I believe my cousin actually worked this up. Charlie, shout out, loved the photo of this. Really, really cute. I love that Jade used her signature pink. She is a pink girl. I love that. I love the bear ears that you add to it. I believe this is also available in child sizes as well, which is great. And this is a very open one, so I don't know if this is going to work for everybody. The hood is very open, but that cowl is so nice and squishy that you can totally fold up under and have that really hug your face and just be like, you could probably take a nap in this. I think that's how cozy this looks. So a really great pattern, kind of similar to the first one that we showed because it is showcasing an animal ear design. But I feel like with all of these patterns stand out without the ears. So if you see this and you're like, I love the construction, I'm not wild about the ears, just don't make it with the ears. This gives you an option of design choice, which I think is really powerful for us as makers when we really get to take the driver's wheel and how our design looks like in the end. So great stuff. This is the Fluffy Hooded Bear Cowl by Sweet Softies. All right, our second to last pattern in the chunky weight category. This is the Hooded Cowl by Less by Ruby Baby, and this is found on Etsy. It's in the $1 to $5 range. When I saw this pattern, it was like an immediate click. Like, you know, when your eyes skim over things and you start glazing over. This woke my eyes up when I scrolled to it because the yellow just got me. I love yellow. I'm a yellow girl. Whenever yellow gets back in style, like every 5 years or so, like I always go out and buy a bunch of like cardigans and like jackets and shirts and stuff. I just love yellow. But anyway, enough of my yellow obsession. I love the drawstring on this. I think it's really cool. It's a little bit wider where the drawstring starts and ends. So I think that's actually a nice feature. I have a feeling this would work up really, really fast. That chunky look is so great because, you know, if you are on limited time and you got that cold front coming and you just want to make that piece real fast, doing a chunky weight project is your go-to. I think this is lovely. I love the stitch definition in the ribbing that's repeated down in the cowl part. It's very nice and long. Actually, the cowl, this is probably the biggest cowl section out of all of these patterns that we've seen so far. I really think that this is taking the cake on the large cowl situation, but I love it. I think it's great. I think this looks, all the pictures, it looked really finished, really polished looking. Again, that stitch definition is just like chef's kiss. So really great pattern in the $1 to $5 range. This is the Hooded Cowl by Les by Ruby Baby. Okay, and I can't believe it, we're here, the very last pattern in our roundup today. We are finishing very strong. All of these patterns have been great. This is the Pia Balaclava by Vesli Yule, and this is found on Etsy. This is in the $1 to $5 range. This is gorgeous. This is just gorgeous. This is available in English and Norwegian, which is very cool. When I first looked at this, I was drawn in by the part that frames the face at the very end of the hood. But when I clicked on the image for the listing and I got in closer, I am obsessed with the cowl. This is probably the most unique cowl section in the lineup here. I'm not even sure. Again, this is like grabbing me because I don't know how they did this. Actually reminding me of like a modern day, you know those collars that like Edwardian period people wore, like the aristocrats wore like the stiff like lace neck collars, and they were like literally shooting out like 2 feet from their face. Like that's what it reminds me of, but this is like, if it was done right and cool and you could wear it every day. I love that this is giving me a more of a feminine vibe. I tend to dress a little bit more on the feminine side for the most part. Even though I'm a boy mom, I'm a feminine boy mom. I really love the colors they chose. Like I could, if you gave me one color to stay with for the rest of my life as a crocheter, no givesies, backsies, no tradesies, coral, like light terracotta coral. That is the color that I would go for every time. It is so flattering on every skin tone. So the fact that they chose this for their cover photo for the pattern is like super, super, super smart. I really love it. Again, it's just, I can't say enough about this. The stitching, I believe this is double stranded. If I looked at the description and remember it correctly, this was a double stranded pattern. I believe they used a mohair and a medium weight yarn to achieve this chunky weight look. But it's so funny because this is a chunky weight, but it doesn't look heavy at all, which is why I absolutely love this. So great pattern, closing out our chunky weight category and the 20th pattern in our roundup. This was the Pia Balaclava by Vesli Yule. Okay, magical makers, and that closes out today's roundup. Today we covered 20 balaclava patterns. They were all diverse, colorful, beautiful, classic, beautiful things that you can take and you can find something for yourself in. I really believe there was a pattern for everyone in this roundup. If you liked today's roundup, please leave me comments down below. Which ones were your favorites? Which ones are you gravitating towards? My top 3, if I can pick my top 3, the first one in the lightweight category would be that perfect hood, the second pattern that we saw. My second favorite is the chroma hood. My third favorite is actually the very last one that we saw today, which is the Pia Balaclava. So I hope you've enjoyed the ones that you've seen today. If you know of any extra balaclava patterns that I did not give love to, share them with our friends in the comments down below. And on that note, have a creative day, adding magic to your stitches in your own way, and I will see you in the next roundup. Bye! It's like ba la 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 la. And then the part, I don't even know what Norwegian looks like. You gotta join me. These people. You know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna edit that part out. I don't know what's wrong with me. What's wrong with me? I need to go to bed. Okay.